I just got back from Japan.
Oh my God! Absolutely insane! Holy fuck!
I had the sickest time in Japan. I went solo. I had 2 beers the whole trip and it was amazing. I scored powder every single day. I got powder on the first day, second day, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. 6 days of snowboarding, 6 days of powder. I purely went over just to reset, get my snowboard fix, get my powder fix, and it's just luck of the draw when you're over there. You can either score powder or you don't. Whilst I was snowboarding, I took my camera, I took a couple of photos while I was up on the mountain, and then also once I finished snowboarding, I came back down into town. The clouds just started to open up and the sun shone through and I just went crazy. I grabbed my camera and just ran outside and just started taking a bunch of photos of the little village. And I got a couple of portraits of some Japanese men just shoveling some snow. It was really cool. So after this first day of snowboarding, which I scored powder, is when the sun came out. And there was snow everywhere and it's really cool. I love the contrast as the sun's coming out and there's snow on the roof. And I'm trying to just compose. I come across this little shop. She sold little pork dumplings. The village was obviously old, but the way they operate is insane. The Japanese people are so nice. The snow's incredible. Super cool, food and culture. And they've just pushed big tourism campaigns. So it's absolutely amazing. That's why everyone's going there. But I was walking around town and just saw this cool little place that sold dumplings and I just decided to compose it up with the snow on the roof and it was quite cool. I decided to get a wider shot as this guy was walking down the street. And I love sort of complementing the composition when you have 2 things happening at once. It kind of balances it. So I saw this guy walking down the street and then also I decided to put the shop in the right third and then compose him in the left as he's walking down the street. It also applies scale. So when there's a human element in there, and once scale is in there, it allows you to see how large things are. It's up against this, it can be a building or a mountain or things like that. The human scale comparison was super big in 2018 when everyone was doing tiny person, big mountain. But so that's a thought back to when it was really popular on Instagram. But I just like to just show people human elements in it to show you how large things are or the shop or anything just to put things in perspective and just creates a bit of context. So that's what I'm shooting when I like to. I just wait for a moment and you can try it. Just wait for a moment when a human walks into the shot, frame it up, take the photo, and I think it provides a little bit more interest. And then there was this little minivan. There's a bunch of little minivans in town. It's really cool. There's little trucks just getting around, taking food around and sports equipment and stuff like that. So I just composed it down the street and it looked quite cool. And then there was kids playing on in the snow. I actually stacked it so hard trying to get over. It's actually quite dangerous. You got to walk over the snow and then you actually don't know what's underneath because there's a lot of little river systems underneath snow. And all of a sudden I climbed over this thing and it just dropped and it was just I got so deep in my Canon R5, just kind of tried to hip and shoulder the snow and support it. And I had my film camera in one hand and my Canon R5 in one and just got completely wet in the snow and buried. Anyway, they're tough cameras that came out and I took a photo of the snowman. Totally worth it. And then I just composed that. This was the crazy 30 minutes as the sun was out and I just thought I'd sort of get that nice side light onto the snowman and just have it just glowing over the building. And the kids were playing there as well, so I decided to do the similar thing of just compose the kids in the left third and then just have the sun in the right. They're playing there and then some people were just walking through the street and there's this little light leak. And you guys probably know I'm always looking for these little light leaks around towns or cities or wherever. And if you can put something in the light leak I like to compose things in that light leak. And that's what I got there. It's a boring old shed, but there's a couple of snowboarders just walking past, which is kind of cool. You can see the light was amazing here. You got this guy walking down the street and you got a guy in red. There's a lot of color, it's vibrant. I've composed that crazy tree on the right and this guy walking down as well. And then looking back up from like a bit of a view, looking back down into the village is this beautiful little hut with a ladder on the roof, and it's just insane. And then I walked up to the beginner slope, the green slope, just thought I'd frame it straight up in the middle with a couple of crew coming down the slopes. And then I dropped my shutter speed and just whipped my camera just so I could try and get this snowboarder in focus, and then the background out of focus, just to get that little bit of motion blur, you know, just to beef up the image a little bit of a flex. And that was, I think this was like the third morning, we woke up and there was just a metre of snow on the roof of the car and the roof of the accommodation. It was insane how much snow. It snowed 30 centimetres at least every single night in town, I reckon. And I was walking past one afternoon and saw this Japanese guy, and I was like, I got to get a photo of him. So I tried to I don't speak Japanese very well at all, but I wanted to try and still get a portrait of this guy. They have so much character. And so I just kind of walked up to him and I was just like, oh, photo. And then they're so polite. So he's just sort of like, he's just like, yeah, okay. He just kind of nods and smiles, like, yeah. And then I was on my Canon R5 with a 35mm. I just primed just the whole time, just shooting on that. As he looked up and just had a bit of a glance, holding the shovel, and I just thought that was awesome. It was a cool moment, just shooting portraits of wise old men like that. And there was another guy across the road just like shoveling snow, and he had this cool hat. Again, the character of that's pretty epic, I like that. And I just walked back and got a wider shot of him. This lady's cooking vegetables in this outdoor onsen, which was pretty cool. I just shot through the frame of her and then looked back up at the snow. You can see there's so much snow. And then that was the next day when I was up on the mountain. I decided to snowboard with my R5 in my backpack. And just take it out every now and then when my hands weren't freezing, and just get a couple of people just boarding past. And I thought, this is too good, like vibrant colours, centre composed, so much snow. I like how you can see the tree in the background with heaps of snow on it. It was a cool shot, and the guy on the right as well. It'd be sick if there was another guy on the left, sort of like, I think it would balance out the composition. You know, have like, the rule of Oz, have 3 people in there, which is always what I'm looking for. And then trying to create some depth by using these people in the foreground as I just shoot up towards the mountain. It'd probably be better if I had a 50mm or an 85mm and have these guys more out of focus to just have that real bokeh in the foreground, but it was on the 35mm. And this legend, I thought his kit was epic. This old guy just skiing past. And then the tree, beautiful tree on the top of the mountain. The sun came out just briefly, and I just wanted to just get a shot of this amazing tree that was just snow covered, but so I just center composed it. I just shot straight into the sun basically, but it was just so special moment that was really cool. These guys just taking photos, snowboards at the lunch place. These guys, same thing, rule of odds, just like 3 in a line. I really liked that. I watched them kind of come together, and then they started to spread apart. And then I was like, oh, this is epic. And I just knew I could shoot straight up towards them, like looking up the hill with the snow falling, just have them 1, 2, 3 in a line. I just love that composition when I get 3 people just in composed like that. And they're even with one another as well. Not sure, like the tree makes things a bit messy. Like it'd be nice if the tree was directly behind them. You know, if I'm really being fussy with composition, I cut it off, but that's just the way it goes. And then that afternoon I came back down the mountain and this guy was shoveling snow again. It was cool. And then I just tried to use a tree as a little bit of depth to get him. And then I saw this yellow van. I was like, that is cool, a lot of character with so much snow on top. And then the amazing onsen with heaps of snow, and there's a lot of steam coming out of the onsen. And it's just a really cool, famous onsen right in the center of town. I'm just shooting through some depth there to have a look at the street, and then this guy here is shoveling snow again. So much character in these Japanese men. And this guy was on the machine, he kind of glanced up a little bit and just had a bit of a smile. And that's it. It was real quick, just to get my snow fixed, get my snowboarding. But I took my R5 with a 35mm prime and just shot on that the whole time. I'm obsessed with photography, and I just had to get the camera out every now and then, most afternoons, and just took a couple of photos. So there's a couple of shots from Japan, and If you have any questions about Japan, or if there's anything and you're going and you're snowboarding, hit me up, ask me any questions, happy to answer, give you some information about Japan or Tokyo as well. I've got like a bunch of hearts on my Google Maps that I know, hearts of restaurants, cafes in Tokyo, so let me know. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
I remember sitting in the backseat, watching you swerve to the concrete. Now I see your eyes in the horses, free like the sun in the morning. Now I feel your soul in the water, and I hear your song in the ocean. I know you wanna sing with the brothers, we all wanna show you we love you. Still feel the moment of thunder, I fell into my lover's arms. Now every time the sun hits my skin, I'm reminded why I